Onyxcoin just bled another 2% overnight, and the short from yesterday's call is still open. But here's the tension. RSI is sitting in no man's land, not oversold, not safe. And there's a liquidation cluster stacked just above spot that could either trap shorts or fuel the next leg down. And the 4-hour chart is drawing a pattern that only means one thing: if it breaks the wrong way. Stick around. By the end, you get the exact entry, the stop, and the single level that kills this trade. Hey, it's Finance with FM. Today is August 5th, 2026. In this daily pulse, you'll get the level that flips today's bias, the liquidation trap sitting just under spot, and the exact trade plan carried over from yesterday's call. Since yesterday's call, Onyxcoin dropped about 2%, moving from roughly 31.5 hundredths of a cent down to just over 30 hundredths of a cent. The prior short entry near 32 hundredths, stopped near 34 hundredths, target near 27 hundredths, never got stopped and never hit target. It's still live, still valid, and price action since has moved in its favor without invalidating it. Onyxcoin is trading around 0.3 of a cent right now, down about 2% from this time yesterday. Structure is still lower highs, lower lows on both the 15-minute and 4-hour charts. Momentum is soft, but not screaming oversold, and the short called out yesterday remains untouched and still valid. Nothing on the board today argues for a reversal. This is continuation until proven otherwise. Zoom into the 15-minute and you see chop not trend. Price carved a lower high around 32 hundredths of a cent, then got rejected straight back into the channel floor. Every bounce since has been sold into the same descending trend line. The 00307 zone has acted like a magnet all session, with price pinned right on top of it as of 10 a.m. UTC. This is a market waiting for a catalyst, not one that's decided its next move yet. In plain terms, price keeps bouncing in a shrinking, downward tilted box today. The 4-hour tells the real story. Onyxcoin has been carving lower highs since late July, and the latest bounce off support just north of 30 cents already ran out of steam. Sellers stepped back in near 35 hundredths of a cent, and price has since drifted back toward the channel floor. Until buyers can close a candle back above that descending trend line, every rally on this time frame is a lower high in the making, not a trend change. In plain terms, every bounce this week has been smaller and gotten sold faster. Stepping back to daily, Onyxcoin has been sliding inside a well-defined descending channel since June, and current price sits right on the channel's lower boundary. The support marked near 30 hundredths of a cent below is held for now, but there's been zero attempt to reclaim the mid-channel. Resistance way up near 88 hundredths of a cent is not relevant this week. It's a macro level. What matters today is whether that lower rail holds or finally gives way. In plain terms, price is stuck at the bottom edge of a month-long downtrend. RSI 14 is reading 34 right now. That's soft, but it is not the screaming oversold reading you'd want for a bottom call. That came a few sessions back near the 20 level. Right now, momentum is simply neutral to weak, drifting sideways while price keeps making lower lows. There's no divergence here yet, no sign that sellers are running out of gas. This is a market that can keep grinding lower without RSI even flashing a warning. In plain terms, momentum is weak, but not yet at a classic bottom signal. MACD confirms what RSI is hinting at. The MACD line is below its signal line, both sitting under the 0 mark, and the histogram bars are red and shrinking, meaning downside momentum, while not accelerating, is still in charge. And this looks structurally similar to the June sell-off phase rather than the basing pattern from early May. Until this histogram flips positive and MACD crosses back above signal, trend following momentum stays with the bears. In plain terms, the momentum indicator still favors sellers, not buyers. Key map for today, live price sits around 31 hundredths of a cent. The daily support zone is near 30 hundredths. Daily resistance way up at 88 hundredths is irrelevant short term. The densest liquidation cluster sits just above spot near 33 hundredths of a cent. That's where leverage already got flushed, not necessarily where price is headed next. Below spot, a smaller cluster sits near 31 hundredths of a cent. Liquidation levels, XCN last 14 days of realized liquidations by price. The heaviest flush zones above spot are 0.003348, $2,000, 0.003665, $1,000, 0.003492, $1,000, and below spot 0.003001, $2,000, 0.003059, $1,000, 0.003261, $0,000. The densest single zone is 0.003348. These are the prices where leverage has actually been cleared out recently. So they mark levels the market already fought over rather than levels it is aiming at. There's no Onyxcoin specific headline driving today's move. This is a coin trading on technicals and broad market mood, not a news catalyst. The bigger crypto story today is institutional plumbing. BlackRock bringing tokenized money market funds into Europe through JP Morgan, which possibly reinforces a slow rotation of attention toward regulated yield-bearing crypto products rather than small cap alt tokens like this one. Multiple independent trackers still peg Onyxcoin in the same 0.3% range we're charting, confirming the price action isn't being distorted by any single venue. Here's the plan. The structure gives us short trigger on entry near 32 hundredths of a cent. Stop loss sits at 34 hundredths of a cent. A 4-hour close above that level kills this trade completely, no exceptions. Target sits down near 27 hundredths of a cent. That's a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward, meeting our minimum bar before this setup even gets narrated. One serious word before you touch this level. This is education and market commentary, not financial advice, and nobody here knows your situation. Any setup can fail. The invalidation level is there because it will get hit some days. Never trade money you cannot afford to lose. Always set your stop loss, size small, and do your own research. Quick recap, Onyxcoin slid another 2%. RSI and MACD both still point down, and yesterday's short is still alive and tracking. To answer the open question from the top, no, this isn't a reversal setup. The structure still favors the bears, and the trade plan you just heard is the proof. Screenshot line, the level that kills this trade is the same level that's held all week. Long or short from here, one word, drop it in the comments. If this helped, hit like, drop a comment, subscribe for the next Daily Pulse, and the full Elliott Wave on-chain and cycle breakdown drops in the weekly flagship, link below. The video on your screen right now continues this.